So you think you're improving, hitting the gym, grinding at work, scrolling through the self-help tips. You're not alone. Most men think they are. But here's the kicker. No matter how hard you try, stress, chaos, and life itself always exposes your lowest level of training. It's like building a skyscraper on sand. The foundation is all that matters, and most men never actually strengthen it. Here's the part that most people don't realize. Your default floor determines everything from how you handle conflict to how you show up for your kids. But you and most of us men focus on peaks, not the floors. Think of it in terms of weightlifting. When a man asks, how much you bench? They don't care about your routine. They don't care about your program or any given day in the gym. The question is, what's your 1 rep max? We just don't say it that way. Your peak, which is a totally useless number that can change radically based on any number of factors any day of the week. I mean, pros spend 6 weeks peaking before a competition to raise the number for that one day. So staying with that metaphor, what we need to worry about is on your worst day, no sleep, no food, dehydrated, you've been sick, you're still feeling like crap that got ran over by a freight train.
Just a flesh wound.
On that day, what can you put up for 5 solid reps? That's your floor or baseline, whatever word you want to use for it. Raising that number is where strength is found. Likewise, raising your floor in other areas of your life is the key. In this episode, I'm going to show you how raising your baseline is the real shortcut to consistently performing at a higher level no matter what life throws at you. We're going to share 5 tools like the fear diet, the no excuse experiment, and the Tide Poverty Challenge to help you raise the bar on your floor and more. But in every area of your life, improved sleep quality is the underappreciated, underutilized force multiplier that we all need. So we're going to check in with our sponsors over at MyPillow for about 60 seconds, and then we're going to get into 5 tips that raise the floor in your life. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all of your continued support. Mike has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't just stop by creating the best pillow, he created the best bed sheets ever. So backed by popular demand, they brought back an offer that all of my listeners loved before. The Per-Cal bed sheets, any size, any color, just $29.88. That's right, you can even get queens, kings, split kings, and cal kings, any size, any color, $29.88. But get them while supplies last, because when they're gone, they're gone. The MyPillow Per-Cal sheets are breathable. They have cool, crisp feel. My daughters absolutely love them. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress, which is really important. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule, and I'm sure it is for yours as well. And for a limited time, when you order over $100, you'll receive $100 in free digital gifts plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code THRIVE to receive the MyPillow Per-Cal sheets for $29.88. Order now before they run out, or call 1-800-794-5834 and use promo code THRIVE. The Driven to Thrive broadcast. Purpose, growth, and lasting impact for men. Helping men go from living to thriving. Purpose-filled, intentional lives. Welcome to the Driven to Thrive broadcast. Purpose, growth, and lasting impact for men. I'm your host, Brent Dallin, and we help men go from living to thriving, purpose-filled, intentional lives. Now, you've likely heard we don't rise to the level of our expectations, we fall to the level of our training. What you may not know or may not care about is that comes all the way back from a guy named Achilles, roughly back in 680 BC. Yeah, that's pre-time, guys. And it's been around a long time. Obviously, it's not a new insight, but the longevity of it gives it credence, and his mantra is followed deeply among the U.S. military. It simply means in our lives we can't dismiss it, but we frequently do, and it's deceptively simple, so it's easy to tune out and pretend it isn't real. Your default is your floor. No matter how many heroic feats you may bench press a metric ton, you may be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but no matter how many feats of strength you do, or talents or power, whatever you want to give yourself. I know we can't jump buildings. Oh well.
Superman.
Under stress, chaos, and fatigue, you automatically revert to what you train to consistently, but we don't apply that in our lives. For example, I pulled the 635-pound sweeping deadlift, and it was by far my heaviest pull ever. However, that was a couple of years ago. That was a couple of years ago when I was training regularly, and I haven't been doing that. That was post-break, before I broke my neck. That was post-COVID. We'll see if I get demonetized for that one. But I likely could not have hit that on any given day, and certainly not an imperfect day, even when I was doing that. It was just a peak lift for me. I was at the top of a hard, focused planning training cycle with optimum nutrients, optimum rest, and those numbers are completely pointless right now. Okay, they're useless. They don't matter. I did it once several years ago. Yay, who cares? It's completely useless to me because it's not my baseline or floor, whichever term you want to use. Life hits us when we're beat up. Stress doesn't ask permission. It exposes the lowest common denominator, the weakest link in your physical, mental, emotional, or moral training. The higher your baseline, the better you perform automatically under pressure. The lower the baseline, the more likely you are to crumble. If your floor is low, lazy habits, avoidance, soft courage, timidity, you're going to fail. It's that simple. If your floor is high, you've built up resilience, toughness, skills, moral courage, then you handle chaos with grace and control. So if we're all on the same page, we understand why this principle works. Let me give you some tools to help you raise your floor, because if you raise your baseline relentlessly, then you'll raise the bar on your whole life. So number one is what we call micro composure drills. Life doesn't wait till you're ready. Emergencies, confrontation, chaos, they hit without warning, and your first response is usually reactive. So here's the drill. Take 1 to 3 minutes a day and put yourself in controlled stress. Okay, that could be taking a cold shower, which, or that could be doing 2 minutes of all-out push-ups as fast as you can honestly just pump them out until you drop for 2 minutes. Just go fast and hard. That could be improv a speech in front of perfect strangers. I had a guest on several years ago who's a coach, and one of the things he'd have his people do is randomly walk up to 5 strangers throughout the day and say, "I'm Batman," in the Batman voice, just like that, right? It was to push them into that controlled stress. You can even do it in your mirror, but I would do that with improv speech. The I'm Batman really needs to happen in person. But when you do it, track your heart rate, your breathing, the chatter in your mind. Do it every day. Slowly raise your floor. When real chaos hits, you don't panic then. You respond calm, strategic, and deliberately, because you've been upgrading your baseline. And that's the result. Powerful, right? But if you don't pair it with this other tool that forces mental discipline under real discomfort, the magic's lost. And that is the no excuse experiment. Discipline isn't burst of willpower. It's raising your baseline self-control. So pick one comfort you rely on. That could be social media. That could be caffeine. If you listen to the show, you know that one would hit me real hard. That could be sugar. That could be video games. And cut it out entirely. Cold turkey, baby, for 30 days. Pair it with something uncomfortable every day, like a cold shower, a fasted workout, whatever pushes you. At first, it's gonna be brutal. You'll want to quit. You may even fail. You're gonna hate it. If you fail, start again. But each day you persist, your floor rises. Your lowest common denominator is going up. Stress, life curveballs, you don't crumble anymore. You act intentionally. That's the psychological lever that moves you from reactive to proactive. Impressive? Possibly. Definitely difficult. But the mental discipline alone won't stop your fear from hijacking your baseline. And so we got to do something for that as well. Which brings us to number 3, the fear diet. Fear is sneaky. It keeps you stuck. Avoidance feels safe, but it lowers your floor, which is really what we're trying to avoid, right? So here's how it works. Pick a fear that you avoid all the time. That might be heights. That might be confrontation. That might be the fear of failure or the fear of rejection. Good Lord, that might be spiders. Schedule in weekly micro confrontations with these fears. Okay? You're going to intentionally expose yourself to this discomfort. High ropes courses? Yeah, maybe not, right? My dad never would have been able to do that. Give feedback to someone that they're going to hate. Not spitefully, just respectfully, but actually tell your friend that thing you try not to tell them that you know is actually a big thing for them. Try a small public speaking challenge. Reflect, learn, repeat. Expose yourself in low levels to things that scare you. Your autopilot changes. Panic becomes strategy, and fear no longer dictates actions. And now the body, because mental strength without physical resilience is only about half the battle. The battle. Can I say that right? We'll see. Which takes us to point number 4, which is pain with a purpose. Your body is a baseline amplifier. When your nervous system isn't tested, stress overwhelms you. It's that easy. So take on full body challenges. That may be ice baths. That might be weighted ruck marches. That might be long swims. That might be ultra marathons if you're David Goggins. That might be going and doing a Tough Mudder or a Spartan. That might be any number of things that challenge you physically with mental stress at the same time. Commit to it. No distractions, no music. That takes it to a whole nother level. Just you and the pain in your body and in your mind as you just deal with you. Reflect on personal growth, reflect on your life goals, and let the pain actually teach you. Now, when I say pain, guys, I don't want you to hurt yourself. Don't misconstrue that. I want you to cause yourself physical discomfort. Take yourself out of the physically comfortable and challenge your body with something that also challenges your mind. And here's the lesson. Pain isn't actually the enemy. It recalibrates your nervous system. It raises your floor. It raises it higher, it makes you tougher, and it makes you unshakable. Now, body is trained, but what about the impact? What about legacy? That brings us to point number 5, guys. Legacy micro wins. Now, why do we care about that? Because that is a deep-seated fear and concern for almost every man. I can't say all men. I hate throwing out broad generalizations more than I have to. But the majority of men have a deep, heartfelt need for legacy. So true leveling up isn't just about personal improvement. It's also about legacy. It's raising your moral and social baseline. Mentor someone else. Teach somebody else. Step up in leadership. Small daily actions. Track them and reflect. You may be a parent, and so this seems like an easy win for you guys. Or you may not be a parent, and that's okay too. You can still mentor other people. There are lots of volunteer programs. There are lots of community programs where people need somebody else to help them study, to help them grow, to help them learn new things. There are opportunities to mentor other people that will help you take it to the next level. Your floor now includes responsibility. It includes integrity. It includes impact. You don't just survive, you lead, you influence, you elevate the people around you, which raises the standards you have for you and the standards you have for the way you live your life. You're having to step up. You're raising that floor. And finally, the secret weapon for handling chaos with efficiency is number 6. It's the time poverty challenge. Your default productivity is your stress armor. I know exactly how long it takes me to produce a show. I know how long it takes me to produce somebody else's show. I know how long it takes me to write a new blog post for one of my clients. That productivity I count on, I bank on to protect me from the stress of everything going to shit. Well, give yourself less time than you actually think you need. In fact, try 90% of your estimated time to start with. If you know it's going to take you an hour, do it in 90% of that time instead of 100% of that time, and only give yourself that 90% of the time. Now, if you've been on the show before, we've talked about the fact that a task will grow to take up the time you give it anyways. And so hopefully you're already pushing this boundary a little bit and you've experimented with this, because this is a hard, fast rule. A task will always expand to take the time allotted. So hopefully you've already cut back some of this anyways, but I want you to take a deep breath and scale it back a little bit more. Give yourself less time. Push hard, focus, ramp up complexity monthly. Overwhelm, it doesn't break you anymore once you start to do this. Deadlines, yeah, they exist. Whatever, no big deal. You're going to get it done ahead of time anyway. Your floor, now action-oriented, efficient, unstoppable. You're mastering your life. You're not reacting to it. The floor's gone up, guys. You're pushing it farther. So here's the truth. Your life is only as strong as your lowest floor. Between micro composure drills, no excuse experiments, fear diet, pain with purpose, legacy micro wins, and the time poverty challenge, you can raise that floor. They're not hero moments. They're baseline upgrades to raise the floor. Chaos is going to test you. Life will challenge you. And when it does, your default self will handle it. Calm, focused, and resilient, because you're raising that floor. Want to take it farther? Download our free 12-week Raise Your Floor Challenge for Men. No email, no costs, just actionable steps to permanently raise that baseline. You'll find it embedded in the show page for this episode on my website over at purposedrivenmen.com or driventothrive.com. You'll find the episode page and it will just be embedded there, guys. You can download it for free as a PDF. Stop falling back, raise that floor, and be better tomorrow because of what you do today.
The Driven to Thrive broadcast, purpose, growth, and lasting impact for men. Helping men go from living to thriving, purpose-filled, intentional lives.
Disclaimer. MyPillow, like any other source, cycles promos. Because of the extended life cycle of a podcast, the immediate promotion that you heard mentioned in this episode may no longer be in effect when you hear it, because you could be hearing this 5 years from when I recorded it. However, as long as MyPillow is a sponsor of the Driven to Thrive broadcast, our show, our promo code THRIVE is always good for up to 80% off your order and free shipping on orders over $75. No matter what you hear in this episode, as far as the current promo, Thrive is always good as long as MyPillow is a sponsor of the show for up to 80% off your order and free shipping over $75.